I want to maybe, from me, ask you one last question that in a way goes back to where I started. I started by mentioning an enduring peace and Carnegie's own mission, but also the connection between peace and the prosperity that we hope to see around the world by helping countries deliver for their people. And I can't ignore, and nobody here can ignore, that there is a hot war playing out right now. In fact, there are several in the world, in the Middle East, in Ukraine. And I want to ask you a bit about Ukraine, because India has played an interesting role in trying to prospect for possibilities for communication. And yet, my own read is that there's also been a bit of a skepticism about how much this gets played out through a grand bargain of multiple countries versus just some honest communication back and forth, notwithstanding the brutality that's playing out there. So how do you see India's role in dealing with Russia, Ukraine, and all the complexities there, particularly given India's very long-term relationship with Russia?
I'm glad you used the word communication because I think at the moment that perhaps is the best description for what we are currently trying to do. Here's, if I can roll it back a bit, here's where we are, are thinking on this issue. Our public position is we do not believe that differences or disputes between countries can be settled by war. A second public position is we do not believe that we are actually from the battlefield going to get a decisive outcome. So if you take 2, then 3 is if you're not going to get a decisive outcome, at some point, in some form, there has to be a negotiation. If there is a negotiation, whenever we get there, then obviously there has to be some preparation or some exploration and some communication between the parties concerned, which is primarily Russia and Ukraine. So with these propositions in mind, we started in this third term, some explorative discussions. It started between Prime Minister Modi and President Zelensky, first in Italy, in Puglia, on the sidelines of the G7. Then during Prime Minister Modi's visit to Moscow. Then after that, the trip that we made to Kiev, after which our National Security Advisor went back to Moscow, after which Prime Minister met Zelensky last week in New York. And in between, at different levels, I or our National Security Advisor or some other people, we keep talking to both sides as well. We are very measured and circumspect about what we are doing. We are not hyping it. Our effort is to have communications, take anything of interest that we have a conversation, take anything of interest we hear to the other side, communicate that in good faith. If there are reactions or ideas on that side, take it back. We're not, it's really, the intent is to be helpful. And to some extent, if we have to keep other people sort of informed, where it is necessary, we do that as well. So there are not many countries. Look, we are into a third year of a war. There are not many countries today who have still the ability to go to these two capitals, talk to the two leaders, and then go back to the other one with that. I think in any conflict, if the intention at some point is to end the conflict, it is such endeavors are useful. I would say they're even laudable. But again, please do understand, we are not promising anything. We're not suggesting we have some grand bargain or a peace plan. We are simply trying to do something helpful, reflecting the widespread anxiety in the world that this conflict is actually making everybody's life very difficult.